good morning, chat. It's your boy, Sammy the lawyer here. It's the morning of Monday, June 15, 2026. I don't have anything super pressing as I say that date out loud. This is the live stream again. Sami Nouri Law Firm coming to you live from El Cajon, California, at my office here in El Cajon. We're live again. We're doing, as I pull up the live streams right now so I can keep track of everything. I'm new to this whole streaming thing, so forgive me just a little bit. Let's see, it shows I'm streaming on both. It looks good. Does it show the restream on the... No, it doesn't. Okay. Coming to you live on YouTube and Kick. What's up on both? Looks like Kick I have maybe 2 viewers already. No viewers. My other software is telling me something else. Either way, we're here live. This is my work day. I'm not going to belabor it. I'm here in my office working. As I started doing last week, this is a live stream that point is to create kind of like a virtual law firm available to anyone in the world. Kind of like all 9 billion people have access to an attorney right now. I'm licensed in California. That's an important caveat. I can answer general legal information. I mean, this isn't, and it's not really supposed to be a platform where I give anyone like specific client type of legal advice and work through people's actual cases. If you want to talk about something like that, a real case that I may be actually able to help you in, I have my law firm's number and website right there. You can find ways to contact me. Call that number, my phone will ring, and I'll mute the chat, I'll mute the stream, and I'll put you on the schedule. Or we'll just talk on the phone right now. So that's kind of the whole point of this, is to kind of like open the door for people who don't have legal representation. Also, just to kind of give out general legal information to the public. Maybe there's people who can't wait to talk to a lawyer. Maybe you want to ask me about cases I've worked on. And this is kind of a platform where I can do that. I can talk about the legal issues that may be relevant to most people. I can talk about my own cases if anyone thinks that's interesting. I can talk about relevant events. And I'll try to stay on topic, but at the end of the day, this is my stream. And sometimes I don't want to be, all work. So maybe I'll get sidetracked on something else because I have a lot of interests. So maybe you guys will just have to come along on the ride with me in that, whatever it may be that I'm like sidetracked on. Let me put this change away, clean up my desk a bit. But yeah, this is me. This is my office. I'm an attorney that handles a lot of injury claims. I handle a lot of insurance disputes. So if somebody's injured wrongfully at the hands of another person in America and California, there's a really comprehensive system of laws that allows the injured party to recover from the... What up? Yeah, I am. Are you? You found it. You found it at its source. Raymond's in here. He just comes in. He just walks in a lot of the times, chat. But we let him because we love him. And look at it. We're live right now. We've been live for about 10 minutes. I was just explaining. I think I need to give like an intro to the stream, at least when I start for sure. But then when I'm also kind of like, if I notice anyone news in here, what up, chat? Welcome, Sami Nouri Law Firm. That's really it. That is it. And I have my Starbucks drink, strawberry acai. I'm gonna put a thing on the door. Ah, turn it down. I'm gonna put a thing on the door, like a light, when like the recording booth's live. Yeah. I'm gonna put a light on the other side of that door. I'm gonna flick it from my desk right here.
I can't chat.
Why? Because your account's new, or because my account's new, or something?
My account's new.
Oh, Maria came across that same problem. So we're gonna need y'all to stay consistent.
Am I still cool?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like leave my phone.
I know. I think if you leave it long enough, they'll give me $1 million. If your view is like there long enough. But yeah, that's what it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. All right, let me do some work.
All right.
You go do some work too.
All right.
Thanks, dog. Fucking Raymundo. That's my boy. I forgot what I was saying when he came in here. I was still in the middle of my intro of some sorts. I mean, I think I was pretty much at the tail end of that. But for now, we're at my office. I'm gonna continue working because I got a lot of work I have to do. And as I think about that, I realize there are actually some really pressing things that I have to do. A couple of them. So I'm gonna go about my day. I'm gonna keep an eye on the stream, and it's right there. I'm gonna keep the stream on right there. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and then I'm gonna get to what I need to get to do. I mean, for right now, while there's really like maybe no one in the chat. I think one viewer. Let me pull up this YouTube live. Figure out how to do this. My channel. I think we're live. Okay. Alright, so I see here YouTube, restream, kick. Everything's still live. I'm gonna look right there, and then I'm just gonna get to work. There are gonna be points where this is dead silent, and that's really because I need to be in deep focus. And I'll probably keep it that way until there's some more engagement on some consistent basis in the chat, or on any basis. And if somebody asks like something specific, I'll engage with it. Maybe we can keep kind of like a queue. That's the idea. If there's ever like people who are like, hey, this is actually really helpful, I need to go ask that lawyer a question, they come in here and there's like, I have a list. You're number like 4 on the queue. That'd be pretty solid. And that's probably how it'll be, because when somebody asks a question, a lot of the times you got to go into like deep explanation. And I'm the one who I speak too much, and I over explain a lot of things. So that's probably what it's going to look like. Made a quick checklist, few items I need to get done. Probably the most pressing things to get done today. And I'm seeing that two of them are tasks on criminal cases. One of them case is done. We're pretty much just arguing uh, how much does my client have to pay back? How much is he going to be ordered to pay back? Um, this is actually a serious thing because he's probably going to be ordered to pay back a lot. Um, but either way, this is a case. This is an issue on a criminal case. It's really interesting when people hear you do criminal law or that you're just a lawyer. They um, they ask you like, "Oh, did you have court?" or "Have you had any cases that you won recently?" Like if you tell them, "Yeah, I was in court this morning," they'll ask you, "Oh, did you win?" Or they'll just generally ask like, "Have you won any cases recently?" And I think like um, that comes up in my head uh, as I look at the tasks I have, because that's really far from reality of what criminal practice looks like. Um, the best way, the best analogy I have, while keeping it about like um, work and work duties, I pretty much say like, I don't know how somebody would oversimplify like what a doctor does, for example. Um, but one thing I get people to imagine is that um, probably with the doctor, somebody's care happens in multiple sequences. Somebody goes to the doctor because they're in pain. The doctor sees them a couple times before the doctor decides to take um, a very significant action, like maybe recommending them for surgery. And then that person maybe sees another doctor. And then the surgery happens. And then after the surgery happens, there's aftercare, post care. And that may involve dealing with the surgery, the place where like maybe the body was opened, maybe the another part is to monitor like the part that was actually fixed as well. So it's like you're looking at the wound, you're making sure that doesn't get infected, you're making sure that was closed up properly. You're also looking beneath that at the underlying issue, the bone, the ligament, making sure that's repaired, making sure there's no issues with that. And then um, sometimes after you're also doing pain management while doing like rehabilitation or re-strengthening uh, of that repaired part of the body. So all I'm trying to show in that this metaphor is that there's so many different parts to medical care, just like how there's so many different parts to assisting somebody with a legal situation, even a criminal case, because it's never as simple as did you win or lose. Um, it's usually, oh no, we just went today because we had to figure out one issue. Maybe we had to figure out are they going to fight this case in jail or out of jail? Um, sometimes the surgery or the trial has happened, like in this situation that I started talking about. And now we're just talking about how much does this person owe? So we're completely past issues or questions about guilt um, and accountability. We're past that. This person, because of how the case developed, is found to be guilty or is found to be liable for this. And under the law now, the court can make him pay an amount back. Um, as in, like, if the crime involved property damage or stealing property and the property was never recovered, or the value of the property maybe has gone down for some reason, maybe it was damaged in the process, courts can impose a fine or a fee on the person to pay back that money. Um, so that's, you know, the sole issue that exists in this case. And sometimes there's multiple issues. Like I said, sometimes you're dealing with pain management and rehabilitation at the same time. Um, Sometimes you're dealing with a boatload of issues in a criminal case, and sometimes some of those issues do bear on guilt and do bear on liability, and that's the part most people know. It's like you're fighting. When people ask, "Did you win or lose?" The idea is usually um, that criminal is just a big fight about whether somebody did something or not. That's true. It is most of the time, but it's also about these other fights, procedural fights, substantive fights. It's just that the legal practice is criminal legal practice um, is just a very broad field, just like all other areas of law. The law itself is like that. So there's always many moving parts, and I think to become an effective attorney, of course, you have to um, become knowledgeable in all those parts um, and get practice and repeatedly deal with these issues. And I've seen older attorneys who are still coming across new issues, new things in cases that um, haven't happened before, and um, just like doctors, I'm sure they see a new complication, a new response to a surgery or a treatment or a medicine, and um, they're still learning. But these are all things. These are all things. These are the deep weeds of these industries that just most people who don't bother to learn the reality of these areas will oversimplify it, and it's not their fault. But that's something too. So hopefully, maybe from this stream, from this experience, I'm sure I'll talk about it more. Hopefully, people will have a more realistic understanding of legal practice. So maybe if you have a lawyer, you can get it better. You can have more context as you're going through it. Maybe if you have a friend or a family member who's an attorney, um, you can understand their life better, understand what they do better. Um, so have a couple issues on criminal cases, and I have another thing I need to work on, and that's more regarding kind of like the whole business administration of my law firm. I'm trying to integrate another type of work. Basically, I want to add a certain type of work to what my law firm offers, and I'm still in the process of creating that whole workflow and expanding it and getting others to help and not help, but hire people and build this out the right way. So stay tuned for that. Oh no, one of my friends just sent me a. Oh no, one of my friends sent me an incident that happened at a taco shop that we all like. Place here in San Diego. Somebody was belligerent and started breaking all the stuff because she was upset that she didn't get her food in time. It's crazy. All right. See, are we streaming? We're streaming. What up, stream? I swear this is about to be a thing where, I just went on that long explanation. Um, I feel like it's gonna happen where I'm gonna have those moments when nobody's in, and then like somebody pops into the stream, and I'm not saying anything. I'm working, but that's how it is. It's okay. I forgot to set the time on this watch this morning because this is a automatic watch that I haven't worn for a few days. 10:27. There you go, 10:27, June 15th. We are good. This is usually a watch I wear with more professional. I'm not in a full suit today because um, I didn't have court and I've been out running errands. Um, but even with just kind of like a jacket and a more professional feel, I like to wear this watch. This is kind of my work watch. Work watch. I don't know what I just said. Work suit watch. That's kind of what I meant to say. So with a black suit, this is very clean. Um, all weekend I've been wearing like a sports watch I got, which is what I'll wear with um, slightly dressed down clothing. Orient. It's not sponsored by Orient. The stream is not sponsored by Orient, but um, if they wanted to, I probably would happily accept. So I think probably for the sake of the stream, it may be slightly better if I turned the screens just a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Hmm. I'm just thinking about the stream right now. I think I need to move it a little bit. I mean, obviously there hasn't been anything yet, but obviously for client confidentiality reasons, it's best if you guys can't see the it's best if you guys can't see the computer screens as well. What does this do? No, that's a little bit too much this way. What does that look like? What about a little bit more? What's that look like? I think that's good. That's good because it'll all be on these screens, which you cannot see. And then I have this screen too, which is completely private. And I think that's a good setup. Puts me kind of right at the middle here. And we're live. And we live, and we live, and we live. I'm gonna put the TV on, work a little bit with some TV in the background.
It takes 90 seconds for this next.
What the heck? It's making me add my account again. Why? YouTube is a must to be signed in. That is not one of the things where you can just um, use as a guest and then just take their default recommendations. That's so terrible. YouTube is such a great personalized experience. Sign in first by fairly good. Continue. Connect. You are now signed into your TV. Oh yeah? Yeah, it is actually right. Haha. And I came over here too to get this client's file. What are we gonna put on? Let's put Al Jazeera English. Excuse me. Yo, did I get my first follower? No way. Raymond, 12345 6 just followed the channel. Let's go. Thank you, Raymond. My boy. Let me turn this off. Yo, we got a follower. Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. How do we shout out Raymond? Shout out Raymond 12345 6. We got a new follower. Let's go. Shout out Raymond123456, first follower ever. We gotta. I'm gonna give him some. I'm gonna give this person, this random person, never met him, don't know who this is. He's definitely a different Raymond than the person that was in here earlier. Let's give a little shout out. Um, Raymond123456. Thank you for your support. You get the what do you get? You get the you get the spotlight for the day. Maybe we give one person the spotlight. It's gonna be you. First follower ever. I mean, there's got to be something for being the first follower ever, right? So this is what it's gonna be. Because I'm sorry, I'm a poor man. I'm a poor man, and this is all I can. This is all I can afford. There we go. What does that look like? That looks sweet. That looks so cool. I just need to write one more thing.
Seen the number of young people coming in for mental health issues like anxiety, depression, more than double over the past decade. They are also seeing a surge in the number of young people who are not in education, employment, or training. They call them NEETs. Hugely surged in the UK, and a stat that really stood out to me.
There we go. There you go. First and best follower, Raymond123456. He's in the lead right now, everyone. Let me put this down a bit. They're not talking about anything interesting. I mean, that's not true. I'm being a little harsh. They're talking about a very important topic, but I'm just not interested. I'm actually going to turn it off. That's how not interested I am in this topic. I'm going to put something else on. Hmm. Lo-fi hip-hop beats to study too. Let's do it. Google Fi Wireless. Is that a Google Wi-Fi? Google Fi Wireless. Looks like a phone. Powered by America's fastest 5G network. They just started and they're already saying that too. Whoa, this is interesting. That's an interesting one. I wonder. Because I have Mint Mobile. I use Mint Mobile personally. I love it. It's so cheap. And I think they figured out like Wi-Fi doesn't have to be this like crazy thing. We don't need all these cell phone towers, AT&T and T and Verizon. Um, that's what Mint did, and they're cheap and they're so easy to onboard and work with, and like the contracts with them are so easy, and to get more data and more coverage, it's so easy. So it looks like maybe Google unlocked that. All right, I have to call a business in relation to a case of mine. So All right, we're back. Was just on the phone. I was just helped by someone at the business, like the front desk person or whoever answers the phones. Yo, can you hear me? I think somebody, Flacco from the east side. What's up, Flacco from the east side? You still in here? I think you can hear me now. Maybe you couldn't hear me before because I was on a call. And a lot of what I'm doing, I need to be confidential. If you're back, chat. Yeah, I'm Arabic. Yes, sir. Flacco from the east side. Who is this? Let's go. W Flacco on the east side. I don't know him, but I like him. Thank you, sir. Yes, Arabic. If you're back, then let me know. Restream is not showing me that chat, embedded chat. I don't know how. I want to make sure I'm keeping up. Yeah, Flacco, if you're back, yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna say yes, I can. I was muted just before. I was muted because confidential phone call. Yes. I'm back. What's up, viewers? This is Sami Nouri Law Firm, providing legal information, legal education, general legal advice. I mean, if you throw something in the chat, I'll answer it. I'll let you know what I think about whatever the legal information you want. Um, I'll help you uh, find it out. Um, whatever it is, just throw something in the chat. Dang, Flacco from the East Side, I missed it. That was like my first, um, what seemed like an organic comment. But he may be back. What's up, Flacco? Flacco, Flacco, Flacco. But somehow I need to do some sort of like notification thing. Chat appearance. Pop out chat. Maybe that's the best thing, like a little pop out chat. Because I missed it. I'm not gonna be on the chat. Like, obviously, I'm working. What's up, chat? We got 3 viewers right now. I wonder who that is. Shout out Raymond. Shout out Flacco from the east side. Props to you guys for being in here, watching this boring lawyer go to work. Got some important things to do. If you're curious about something legally, pop it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Let's talk. I think I need to get on another call. I guess this is what I can do. When I was using OBS in Windows, I could put a background. For some reason now I can't put on a background, like on this text. I guess this isn't bad. I don't mind this. So if I'm muted, then this is maybe what it looks like. What's up? What up, viewers? How is it going? Sami Nouri here, your favorite lawyer, your lawyer's lawyer. Throw something in the chat. Right now I'm working. Got to call this facility, get some information from them regarding a client's case. So I will be right back. All right, we're back. I swear I called that place. Oh, I think I wrote it wrong. I was about to say I called that place the other day, but right now the call's not going through. It's like, I'm sorry, the number has been disconnected. Like what? This business closed down because of me, because of my inquiry that they're not getting back to me on. They're like, man, this is tiring. We just like cannot handle this request. Let's just close down. Get a new number. No, I wrote the number wrong. I think's the case. So we're back to a confidential phone call. And we back, and we back. Okay, so I was on a phone call right there, and I'm just not sure they're gonna be much help, so I have to create this subpoena, which will get me the information that I need. Hopefully. That's crazy. I got the lotion just sitting right here. No, pause. Not the lotion. Did I put away the baby oil too? This is good. Strawberry acai energy refresher. All right, I have to hop into um, sort of a call, so BRB. Up, chat? We're back. We're back. We're back. America is so back. All right. I was just on a little side mission here. Thanks for putting up with that. We're back to work, getting these tasks done. Let me see. I gotta prop my phone up. All right. Hmm. My mama called, seen you on TV, so it don't change. Such a was young, such a home. Such a was young, that I won't be long. I always say congratulations. I just made that up. That is not a copyrighted song. All right. So I think that's that with that. So we'll move on to the more exciting stuff. Um, of course, usually I'm like an ADHD child, so you guys can't see this right now, but I'm gonna hit a couple golf swings. Dang, missed both. It's all right. You missed some. Let's go. Shout out again. First and best follower, Raymond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My man. Raymond's that boy. First follower ever. Shout out to Flaco from the east side. Let's see. Let's see. Is he still there? You still there, bro? He said he can't hear me. I just said, you still there? I'm leaking. I'm leaking. They got me. There we go. All right, chat. Another confidential moment. Another confidential moment, chat. Sorry about that. We're busy today. We're busy. We're working. there's some things that I do. I dictate a lot, and in that moment too, I have to mute it. I can't like, I just can't like have you guys hear anything that is related to any of my cases. So like, I can quietly do work. That's fine. Um, but if I'm being audible about with my cases, and if there's a phone call, or if obviously if there's a client, I would never keep the camera on. But in a lot of these cases, I just kind of have to weigh the confidentiality. Well, not even just weigh, but I have to consider confidentiality. So this is interesting. I guess I'll talk about this. Um, this is the type of stuff I can talk about. There's a concept in law called joint and several liability. The concept of joint and several liability basically means that um, when people are held to be jointly and severally liable, it pretty much just means multiple people did something wrong. Um, the court is like, for example, multiple people did something wrong. The court says that they owe $20,000 for that wrong. The person that got injured can get the 20,000 from any one of those people. It can get them It could get all of it from one person. It could get half from one, half from another. It can go about. It, basically, it has leeway. It has creativity in recovering that money. Obviously, it can only get it from the people that are deemed wrong. It can't go to another party that the court did not conclude was a wrongdoer. But that's the concept. Uh, it's kind of crazy because I mean, some states have that, and that's like that is the law. Um, and where it gets crazy is like, let's say one person's 1% at fault, and sometimes these conclusions are made, like in terms of like how much percent one person's at fault versus another. Sometimes that is actually like a legal, a judicial conclusion that that's reached. And even in those situations, let's say a judge says you're 1% at fault, and then your buddy's 99% at fault, and it amounts to like 100 grand worth of damage. Like common sense may tell you, like, oh, so that means I gotta pay 1,000, and then my buddy's gotta pay 99,000. No, in states that follow the rule of joint and several liability, um, the injured party, in theory, can get the full 100,000 from you, who is only 1% at fault. There are states that have a comparative fault system, which is kind of like the more common sense one. 1% only pays 1,000. 99% at fault pays 99,000. You can't go after the 1% wrongdoer for any more than 1% of the total amount that's ordered to be paid. Um, I think it makes sense why you would do it that way. There's a lot about the history of both these systems that I don't quite remember or don't even know. Um, I mean, and I don't really feel like racking my brain right now for the reasons why joint and several liability makes sense. Um, I mean, if you have a situation where, I mean, it's like, what if the 1%'s a corporation and the 99% is an individual, and that individual, you're never going to recover from because they're dirt poor. I mean, I guess that would be still like a situation where some would say that is right, that is just because it allowed a victim to recover for, that 99 grand from somebody else who could afford it. Yeah, maybe they were only 1% at fault, but they were at fault. And because they're at fault, they could be liable for all of it. I mean, I guess that's like the gist of the justification, but I think it's clear. It's like the elephant in the room is that sort of inherent unfairness. And I know when I use like a corporation as an example, you don't feel as bad. It's not as unfair. It doesn't seem as unfair, even though it really is. Um, if you're talking about like the fundamental concept of fairness, well, I guess we can debate on the fundamental concept of fairness, but either way, still can be seen as unfair. But then, I mean, yeah, imagine when the 1% is an individual, and for whatever reason, the victim decides to go after that individual. You could think easily about situations where it becomes a little um, unreasonable. The situation kind of unfolds in an unreasonable way, but that's how the law is. So there's nothing really to do. We can't just make like exceptions based on like case by case like that, unless the law allows it, but it doesn't um, in a lot of situations. So that's the concept of joint and several liability versus like comparative fault. I guess that's the two I'll focus on. And in criminal law in California, let's say so that's the situation if there's like a civil case, couple companies release some sort of pollutant into the environment and it hurts people. Um, there could be a lawsuit from that, and the judge could say, uh, you know, verdict in favor of the plaintiffs. These corporations owe $50 million jointly and severally. Um, that's a situation where that happens in civil lawsuits, and I think that's where these concepts of joint and several liability, comparative fault, how much somebody owes, if they're this much percentage, or the whole conversation stemmed from civil lawsuits from civil law, these situations where somebody's suing somebody else for money or some sort of relief. Um, but criminal law has borrowed the concept because uh, they like it, because a lot of situations kind of mirror each other. And in criminal law, when somebody does something wrong criminally, and there are victims, California set up a system where actually, as part of the criminal case, the victim can recover money from the defendant, from the criminal defendant. And um, California decided, oh, when a victim collects money from a defendant or multiple defendants, in a lot of times, um, the criminal system is going to use that same concept of joint and several liability. In California, that's what it is. So right now, I'm doing research on joint and several liability because one of my clients is in a situation where he's facing that. He's facing an amount that he has to pay because of the responsibility he has to take on for this criminal case against him. And I'm researching to make sure that um, nothing happens. He's not ordered to pay anything more than what the law entitles the prosecution and the victim to recover in this situation. So that's the concept of joint and several liability, and that's kind of how it applies to what I'm doing right now. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm researching the issue, and I'm seeing if there's any angles or if there's anything to contest in the amount that the court, in my case, is uh, considering imposing on my client. So we'll see. calling the courthouse to figure out how do I get a certain document from them.
Calling the Superior Court of California in Imperial County. Please listen to the full menu option.
Let me say something, chat, and I'll say it here for the first time ever publicly. The Imperial County Superior Courts, so the Superior Court of California in the county of Imperial, miles ahead of the San Diego Superior Courts. So some people may know, none of those people are watching the stream because, oh no, I have 2 viewers. Some people may know that I used to practice in Imperial County, still kind of do, but I used to be at the District Attorney's Office in Imperial County, California. That is one of the 2 southernmost counties in California, one of the 2 that border Mexico. One of them is San Diego County, which I'm in now, and the other one is east of here, Imperial County. So if you imagine California, it's like that long stretch. At the very bottom is San Diego. That's the side that borders the ocean. The other side of the very bottom that borders Arizona, that is Imperial County. So the bottom of California is like 2 equal sized counties that both border Mexico. One of them, San Diego, borders the ocean. The other one borders Arizona as well. So I was over there. I was at the district attorney's office, which is just the prosecutor's office, fancy name for that. And then I went to the public defender's office. So most of my experience is in criminal, and I did both sides. I was a prosecutor and I was a defense attorney. Um, I practiced there for roughly 2 years, and their courts, the way they operate. Granted, it's a much smaller county with way fewer cases, less to manage overall. I want to, be fair to San Diego County. It's a considerable difference, but um, Imperial County is still handling a lot of cases, and their administration is just smooth. The filing systems, right now, calling a clerk at the court and getting some information, getting help, extremely helpful. Um, she's gonna personally email me the thing that I'm looking for. You don't get that kind of service in San Diego, and fair enough. Like it would be so hard for them um, to do that, to email every single person the documents. I mean, they just tell them your documents are here. This is how you get them. Go get them that way. Like, which is most of the time, go to the place physically, stand in line. Um, so, and that was a shock to me. It was a shock to me to move from Imperial County to San Diego and see such a difference, um, because Imperial County is like rural. It's an agricultural desert community, um, like just small town, small desert town living. Uh, kind of place. So you would think moving from there to a major city like San Diego, that the tech in San Diego would be better, that the systems would be better. You'd think it would be miles ahead, but it's actually the opposite. A little counterintuitive, but it makes sense when you think about the sort of administrative burdens that both counties have. While both do have a significant responsibility, I think it's clear that San Diego just has a tougher job to do. They have to manage a lot more cases across many more courthouses, and um, that's the sort of deal with the two of them. But shout out to Imperial County Superior Court. That place will always be close to my heart. And just like that, got off the phone with her, and she immediately sent it. So let me see this.